Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing okay and everyone is doing well. Another day, another Love Island review, and wow, what an episode that was. The recoupling, the plot twist, the drama. We're going to dissect that all together. So as I usually end up always saying, number one, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and therefore join the family. Also be sure to follow me on my Instagram and also my Twitter, specifically my Instagram, because I'm actually posting what I'm doing in Hungary there as well. So if you're not on Instagram, you need to follow me on Insta. My stories today, popping off chef's kiss. And I'm also going to be going on TikTok live after this video goes live, because I'm getting ready to go out straight after this is posted. So definitely be sure to follow me on TikTok if you want to see us get ready together. I'm talking hair, makeup, outfit, heels, yeah. So yeah, let's get into today's review. So let us start off with the fact that Dejon, when he woke up, he said that he woke up from a dream to a nightmare, you know, because he doesn't have his meg. Honestly, everything that I said in yesterday's review still stands. He is playing a game, okay? Playing a serious game. And we know that we knew his plot anyway, guys. It's not new news. Yeah. We spoke about this yesterday, so not really much to discuss there, other than the fact that even in the morning he did joke with Andrada, saying that, oh, like, you look like you want to kiss me. Once again, we've clocked Dejon's game plan anyway. He was always going to come back single, hoping that Andrada will be picked by Ben, and still would hopefully want to explore things with Andrada. He just didn't pick her because he doesn't want to deal with the brunt of Meg and all her minions talking about the fact that he was unloyal and she was faithful, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to dissect that in the recoupling later on anyway. Giorgio Armani, guys, Giorgio Armani, he said that he's no longer feeling it with Yaz, and I was absolutely gutted, I won't lie. I did feel like they were quite cute together. They seemed to be taking things quite slowly, but he did confide in the guy, saying that, you know, it just isn't there, and he's a very honest and a very loyal guy, and for that reason he doesn't feel like he could take her back, and that something is missing. And of course he did also end up communicating that to her as well. When he did say that, as much as you guys know, we really love Giorgio Armani on this channel. I think he's really cute, really respectful, really honest. He's a correct 30-year-old. Yeah, it's time for him to go. Yeah, honestly, it's time for him to go. Only because he hasn't been able to establish a solid connection in the villa. And if you're not establishing a connection in the Casa Amor and also in the main villa, then unfortunately, your guy, you're going to have to pack your bags. Next, moving on to Meg and Emily back in the main villa, praying for God to bring their men back home to their wives. Guys, I know I'm not God, right? But I'm sure God was even thinking, when are a song, Joe? Like, girl, this is the prayer you want to be praying for these men? Let's be guided. Next, moving on to Ty briefly. Cash was speaking to Tony about how much he really likes her, and they ended up sharing a kiss first thing in the morning. Honestly, my first question was, have you guys even brushed your teeth? Have you guys brushed your mouth? But they ended up having a kiss. And to be honest, I'm here for Tony moving on, because Harrison was doing a lot in Casa Amor, and there was no way she even believed in her heart of hearts that Harrison was going to come back faithful to her. There's none. So the fact that Tony has moved on to someone else, I absolutely do have to stand for her. Next, moving on to Ty, speaking to Shakira about the convo that he had with Helena. He did tell her that he is not going to put her in a triangle, and I did really appreciate that, because yeah, why do you guys keep putting me in a triangle with this babe? Like, it's actually okay. But obviously went to go and tell Shakira as well that, you know, Helena said a few things to him yesterday about Shakira playing the game. And we know that Shakira now ends up confronting Helena about it later on. But before she does, we'll get into some of the other conversations that took place in the main video as well. The next being Billy Kiss and Martin. Now, guys, I have already told you guys this from when Casa Amor even started, and the guys came into the video, that Martin shouldn't unpack. Unfortunately, he is very awkward. He seems very shy. He seems very uncomfortable. And even that kiss that he had, it was low-key given, oh, I feel like my time is running out, and I feel like Boris is the one that's getting to you, so I need to try and make sure that I establish something in the video. That kiss was very awkward and uncomfortable to watch, okay? I'm sorry, guys. Some of you guys agreed with this online as well, on Twitter. That kiss was very uncomfortable to watch. It was very forced, and I just don't see the connection there. And I definitely saw the connection more with Billy Kiss and Boris, honestly. Like, I did. I ain't gonna hold you. And to be honest, you guys already know me, especially if you watched yesterday's review. Billy Kiss and Boris, I don't know how serious I take them together, but as long as my Billy Kiss is happy and as long as she's getting screen time with this man, I actually don't care. Okay? Girl, do your thing. Of course, we next know that moving on, Billy Kiss obviously went to speak to Boris as well and mentioned the fact that Martin pulled her for a chat, and that, you know, she usually goes for bad guys, and he was just like, oh, well, I need to change your opinion on how you feel about bad guys then. I said, okay, Boris, okay. But once again, I prefer Billy Kiss or Boris anyway over Martin all day, every day. So if that is going to get her screen time, honestly, I do not mind. Of course, you knew that Shakira and I ended up pulling Helen for a chat, honey. And I'm so glad that she did, because honestly, whack her again. I feel like Shakira has been very cordial when it comes to spending time with Helena. I think she's actually been quite respectful. She has lashed out here and there, but it hasn't been too major. And Helena's been doing the absolute most, from taking her bikinis to taking her man. I mean, it's a bit much, okay? So for you to now go to the guy that I'm interested in, that you allegedly were interested in too, because I don't even think she was interested in Ty. I already told you guys, if Helena could live in Shakira's skin, I think she would, okay? But for you to now go to the guy that I'm actually getting to know to say that I'm playing a game, I'm sorry, that's absolutely ridiculous. So of course Shakira went to go and speak to Helena about that, and Helena was like, oh my gosh, no, like it was a joke, like obviously I didn't really mean, but you did, because you said it. And I'm sick and tired of people always being caught out with their nonsense and automatically saying it's a joke, it's a joke. It wasn't a joke when you said it though, because you didn't giggle or laugh. Is the joke has the joke landed? Still very much up in the air. Okay, Helena? So of course with that conversation, Shakira was once again saying, you know, I stepped away from the situation with you and Harry. You guys are so-called unfinished business that has started, business that has ended. I do not know. But whatever that is, because like I said, I still don't see where the unfinished business is in the villa. But that's just me, guys. You guys know. That's just me. You guys know how I feel about the Helena and Harry situation overall. Very much over it. Very much been over it. Very much don't want to see it again. Very much needs to be cancelled. Very much they need to go home. Okay, that's just the vibe that I get from both of them. Nothing regarding Helena and Harry doing redemption arc is getting past me. Not on this channel, and I hope it's not getting past you as well. Because I heard some people are swaying sides. How are you swaying sides already? How are you taking Harry seriously? How are you taking Helena seriously? How are you taking them both seriously? Yeah, questionable. But of course, I did love the fact that Shakira spoke up for herself in that situation and said, listen, I removed myself from the situation with you and Harry. I want no issues with that. I also don't want any issues with you, but I do not appreciate you saying that to someone else when I wouldn't be playing a game, essentially. So yeah. And Helena was just sitting there once again. Guys, I don't rate that babe, man. She's weird. She's weird, and I'm going to keep saying it. Of course, you know, they ended up getting a text about the recoupling, and instantly, I can't lie, I said gasp. So soon, because it feels like Castlemore literally started 0.2 seconds ago. But they ended up getting a text that there was going to be a recoupling in which the guys were going to be able to decide if they wanted to either recouple with one of the new Castlemore girls or stick with the couple that they were in the villa. So let us move into the recoupling. By the way, my drama walked in and she looked absolutely phenomenal, absolutely stunning. So starting off with Billy Kiss ended up recoupling with Boris, and I'm so glad that she did, because I do feel like Martin is very awkward, and from the scenes that we had seen, it just felt really forced, and oh, I need to try and get into this villa, so who can I go for? Because I never saw the spark or connection with Billy Kiss and Martin anyway. He just kind of seemed like a placeholder. Sorry, I hope that doesn't sound rude, but if you've watched the episode, you know what I mean. The kiss with her this morning was so awkward so quickly, and I feel like we've been able to see developments of her conversations with Boris. So that's kind of like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What was so funny was when Boris sat down, he was like, oh, nice speech. I said, oh. He's so cute. Why is he actually so funny? Oh, bless him. Next, moving on to Giorgio Armani. Giorgio Armani, of course, because he said that he wasn't going to explore things in Castlemore anymore, he ended up coming back single, and for that reason, he will be getting dumped, and I hope he knows that as well. Meg. Okay, Meg. Sorry, I was about to say Meg and Next together. That's why it sounded like that. But yeah, Meg. Meg gave her little speech in the beginning. You know, she said, you know, if I'm his Meg and he's my D, then, you know, I hope he comes back to me. Whatever. So, of course, lo and behold, Dejon ended up coming back single. And, you know, usually when a couple is separated in Castlemore, you know, there's been tests and there's been trials and tribulations and all these different things. It's really cute when they come back. But these two, it just was not, it wasn't hitting. It wasn't cute at all. And I think it isn't cute at all because we know that, first things first, you guys already know me as well in this channel. I'm very much over the whole Meg and Dejon situation. I feel like Dejon is very much a gaslighter, number one, but I also feel like Meg, she's thrown herself at this guy way too soon. She's thought about their marriage, living together, their kids, their future all too soon. And unfortunately, I don't think that they will last, even if they do last through the Villa and Love Island, they're not going to last on the outside. I feel like she is very, I don't want to say insecure over the situation, but at the same time, very insecure. Maybe because she doesn't believe that she can get someone like Dejon, because if Dejon goes to tape, for example, it's going to be a long day. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Dejon ended up coming back single. He was there giving his speech as well. How much? Oh yeah, Mr. Lowe's. I sat outside every day on the day, on the night bed, on the day bed, whatever. It's just, the speech wasn't hitting, and I just said, yeah, wrap it up. Because Dejon, we know your game plan, babe. You ain't slick. You ain't slick. Next, moving on to Shakira. Shakira ends up recoupling up with Ty. No surprise there. I do actually really like them together. And of course, you know that Ben ended up coming back with Andrada. The second Andrada came back, Meg was like, oh, that's Andrada. So then Andrada, who I'm actually quite happy made it to the villa. See, she grafted. She actually did. She grafted. She made that make sense. But she came back to the villa and she was just like, yeah, she's happy to be here. She explored her connection with Ben. And then Maya was like, is there anyone else you explored? Maya, of course you know there's someone else she explored it with. But let's get into the tea. And she was like, yeah, like I did get to know other guys. I did really get to know Dejan. And Meg was like, oh, no surprise there. But Meg now ended up saying, I think she said that 1 or 2 words, and then Andrada said, don't worry, babe, like, it was nothing disrespectful. I honestly just got to know him. So I do feel like something is going to come out of that conversation in the coming episode. So it'll be interesting to see how that does unfold. Yeah. Next, moving on to Tony. She ended up recoupling with Cash, and I absolutely love that for her. Harrison, of course, ended up coming back with Lauren. No surprise there. What was so weird was even when Maya Jama asked Tony, you know, are you surprised? She was like, I'm not surprised. He was like, why? Why are you acting like you're concerned, Harrison? Why are you acting like you're concerned? And I feel like it's also because, and my cousin was speaking about this, because I told you guys we have a family group chat where we speak about Love Island as it's going on. But my cousin said the same thing that I was thinking, that he genuinely wanted Tony to be sat there like a mug, because even all the questions you were asking, that when he sat down, he was like to Cash, like, yeah, and then Cash was responding as well. Harrison, please don't act like you're bothered, because even when he gave his speech as to why he brought Lauren back, he was like, yeah, like since my time in the villa, I've just never had this spark. That's not what you said to Tony on your date. And that's also not what you said in previous episodes. So, Harrison, you hold that L too, okay? Next, we go on to Helena. Helena decided to stay single for her Harry. Harry also decided to stay single. I'm not surprised that Rio, or was it Ria? I don't remember her name, but she was cute, but there wasn't really much going on over there, if I'm going to be honest with you. They ended up recoupling, and one thing about Love Island, and I've said this before, is like, I genuinely feel like they've tried to position certain people to be in the finals, one being Dejan and Meg, and another being Harry and Helena. It would be very unfortunate, but I do feel like that is what's happening, because, you know, the slow music started coming, and then they're talking about, oh yeah, we are so back, we are so back. You know, even if we were in 2 separate doghouses, for some reason, and some way, we'll be able to find our way back to each other. That's not the flex that you think it is for the guy that you think you are flexing with, Helena. And also Harry as well, I just can't take him seriously. I'm sorry, I've been saying this, unfortunately. It's been 4 weeks of us seeing repetitive, cycles of his behaviour and actions, and I just don't see it changing anytime soon. Next, moving on to Yaz. Yaz ended up coupling up with Jamie, and I absolutely love that for her. Next, moving on to Connor. Connor ended up bringing Emma back, aka Harry's ex. Guys, I can't lie, I was a bit surprised, only because I don't feel like we really saw developments of Connor and Emma's situation in the villa. We saw a few in Casa RECOUPLING, but I didn't feel like it was like at that level, do you know what I mean? But ended up bringing her back, and of course Helena instantly recognized, you know, oh, is that, that's the ex, you know, that's the ex. Now, of course, Emma was asked to give a few words, and also Harry was, and Harry was like, yeah, like at the end of the day, I was questioning her motives for being here. Why on earth do you think that my whole life and my whole future still revolves around you, Harry? Why? But one thing Emma did, which I absolutely love every time she has an opportunity to speak about Harry, is she whacks him. Yeah, she whacks him. And she essentially said, at the end of the day, I just want everyone to know that the same way he's been acting in this villa is exactly how he's acting out. He will act outside. Like, this guy can't change, essentially. And I said that I actually quite like that as well, because yeah, at the end of the day, you guys do know this guy for a period of weeks, and sometimes you feel like you know someone because you've been around them for so long. But I've actually known this guy, I actually dated this guy, I actually lived with this guy, and I'm telling you, the actions that he has shown in the villa is exactly what he's going to show you on the outside. Helena instantly looked at Harry like this, and I don't really understand I don't know why she done that. Almost like, oh my gosh, like, what is she saying? You know this as well, but Helena, you decided to pick Harry as your man, and that's just what it is. Like, I don't have to act surprised that he's moving, or he would move the way he's been moving in the villa on the outside. It's not shocking. It's not shocking for us, so it shouldn't be shocking for you. And last but not least, we know Emily. Emily came up doing up speech, you know, I feel like me and Tommy have had a great situation in the villa. I feel like he's a great guy. Yeah, and obviously because of that, I decided that I want to stay single. And instantly, even as she said that, all the other guys were looking like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a long day, because definitely they've seen the type of conversations that have been taking place with Tommy and also Lucy in the villa. Now, you guys already know I was a bit skeptical, because I didn't know if Tommy liked Lucy enough to bring her back, but lo and behold, we heard click, clack, clack, click, and Lucy was walking in with her Tommy boy, and my goodness, Tommy was grinning grinning from ear to ear. And you know what, guys, I'm sorry, I have been saying this as well since, you know, the Emily and Tommy situation. I've never seen the spark between them. I feel like Emily is very much in Delulu land because she knows that Tommy is a nice guy. So she just expects him to do the nice people things like, oh, of course he won't leave me standing here. Of course he's not going to recouple. Oh, but of course he did. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to lie, Emily, you definitely chopped breakfast like you actually did. You chopped breakfast on behalf of your trio friends, by the way, because it would have been good cinema to see Meg, Helena and Emily chop breakfast together. It would have been great, but that's that. Because I feel like Emily low-key is a delulu babe for that. I'm not going to hold you. I feel like she's quite delulu for thinking that her and Tommy were the bee's knees when none of us even saw that spark as the episodes and season was going on. So we'll definitely see how tomorrow's episodes go. So yeah, guys, that was the recoupling. Those are my thoughts on the new couples. Giorgio Armani's definitely going home. All the other CASA guys who weren't picked was going home. I forgot that other guy, the one that they're calling is the boy heady one. I forgot his name. Is his name Paul? I don't remember. Is it Paul or Peter? I don't remember, but he's going home. And the other CASA girls are going home as well. Overall, I do feel like CASA More was actually quite quick this year, but hey ho, let's see how tomorrow's episode goes. As always, guys, if you haven't yet subscribed, be sure to subscribe and join the family, and let me know your viewpoints down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Were you surprised? Were you not shocked? Let me know down below. You guys know I love reading and also replying to your comments. As always, not as always, but as I mentioned in the beginning, I am actually going to be going on TikTok live after this video goes live. So definitely be sure to follow me on TikTok so that you can also join in and see the girl beat her face, look cute, and have a good time in Hungary. But yeah, guys, I love and appreciate you guys so much. I hope you have a fabulous evening. Please do take care, stay blessed, and hopefully I will see you on TikTok live. Take care, guys. I love you loads, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.